Okay, Year 7, welcome to your video tutorial on the importance of design. So you'll be designing your bottle rockets, and it's really important that you have a bit of surface knowledge on why we have to design properly and why this is actually one of the most important stages. So the next few images that are going to pop up on your screen have an issue in terms of the design, or the link between the design and the actual output. So I'm going to ask you to pause your video every so often and just have a look at these pictures. So here's the first one. Here's the second one in terms of design. Feel free to pause your video. Here's the third design. What's wrong with this? Here's the fourth design. What appears to be wrong with this picture? And finally, here's the last design. What's wrong with this? So what went wrong in the design process for some of these people? Well, for some of it, someone didn't think about how the two different things would interact. So there's nothing essentially wrong with the bench and there's nothing essentially wrong with the drawer. However, when the design process was occurring, someone didn't consider how that design would fit in with the rest of the environment. The bench obviously does not function because of its interaction and its location against the wall, and the drawer and the handle are the same. So a group of people also might not work collaboratively, and that's why in the design process you might end up with a product like the bridge that didn't meet in the middle. So why are we learning about this? Well, it's really important that you consider proper design before you start to make. You don't want your bottle rocket to end up having problems that you could have identified as part of the design process. So how should you design? How do we ensure that our designs communicate all of the information we want? There's three things. They need to be neat, they need to be labelled, and they need to show specific details. So I often ask Year 7s to design a variety of different things they're looking to make. I often get designs that look a little bit like this, and this is an example of a poor initial design. And you'll be able to probably see immediately that it doesn't meet the requirements of those three key things. It is not drawn neatly. So it hasn't shown specific detail. It's not neat and labelled, it is rushed and not refined. I don't see all the components of the design. I'm also not sure about some of the specific detail, and that's to do with the way it is designed. So what could those things look like when they're done properly? Well, this is an example of a good initial design. Okay, as you can see, it's been sketched neatly. It's labelled with neat arrows, and the descriptions show the specific details of the actual design. Another side point that's worth noting is it's not tiny on a small piece of paper. It's actually been designed on a large A4 size. This is a very different type of design. This is a digitally designed cross-section of an animal cell. However, it has all the same principles. So it is detailed and neat. Just like the pencil drawing, it is neat and easily identifiable of all the different components. It is labelled, so all the different components are be able to see, and it's coloured in and refined. So initial designs don't necessarily have to be black and white. They can be in colour, but it also means that you are able to see things really, really clearly. So I've half listened so far, and I think I've got some of the picture. It needs to be in pencil. It needs to be kind of labelled. Wait on, this one's in pencil and it's labelled. What's wrong with it? Well, while this design here for this very different product, a bedroom layout or a bedroom sketch, is definitely in pencil and it's definitely labelled, there are some parts of it which actually make it a poor initial design. So the line paper in the background that you can see going through here actually means that it's actually sometimes hard to be able to see the more specific details of the design. Also, because a ruler hasn't been used, this layout actually makes it harder to see. While they're offering two different perspectives, that's really good. it needs to be neatly ruled. Yes, the labeling's good. Yes, the pencil's good. And yes, these two perspectives are great, but it really needs to be on a plain white piece of paper, clearly ruled, so I can see all things nice and neat. And that's it, guys. If you follow those 3 key principles, you can do your designs in color or you can do them in black and white, as long as they are in pencil, neatly ruled and labeled. That will lead to great design for your bottle rockets.